All right, hey, welcome and Happy New Year again. I'm Dr. Bill Dorfman. I have with me our guest, Billie Jean. And before I tell you a little bit about Billie Jean, the purpose of these little half-hour interviews is really to give you guys a preview of what we do at LEAP. LEAP is a motivational leadership program for high school and college students aged 15 to 25. We put on a dynamic one-week program every year at UCLA. The next one in 2017 is going to be July 23rd to the 29th at the beautiful UCLA campus. And students get to actually live on campus in the dorms and kind of experience the student life. And we bring in the best speakers we can from all over the world to come and speak to these students. Last year we had our mayor, Eric Garcetti. This year I have commitments from some really great speakers and big celebrities. I don't like to announce it too early because things change, but Billie Jean will be there this year, hopefully.
Yes, sir.
And I want to tell you a little bit about Billie Jean and what he actually does. So I'm going to read this real quick. Billie Jean is the CEO and founder of Billie Jean is Marketing Inc.
Marketing right here.
There
Boom.
you go.
Yep.
Marketing all the time. ABM. Always be
marketing.
marketing.
Yep.
Right? It's a 7-figure ad agency that's worked with some of the largest franchises in the world. And basically what they do is they teach thousands and thousands of marketers how to basically become successful in a digital world and then get an ROI, a return on your investment, which is always a really good thing. So the idea is you want to make more money than you spend.
Absolutely.
So welcome
Thank you
to
for
our
having me.
LEAP seminar series, and we're excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about how you started your company.
Oh man, well the very first company I had outside of college was a mobile oil change company, and through trying to figure that out I was like, dude, how do I get customers to this? And then I realized that traditional education didn't really teach me that. And so I started using things like Groupon before Groupon was really big. And then I was like, I need to figure out how to solve this problem. And I stumbled upon this thing called Facebook advertising. And that was before you can actually run ads in the news feed. And you can only advertise on the right side, which people barely noticed. But I tried it, and I remember I spent $5 that day, and I think I made $15, and it just blew my mind because I was asleep when it happened. I woke up, I looked at my account, I was like, holy cow, this works. And I became obsessed with using social media to actually help businesses find customers and to make more money than I was spending, and it's changed my life. To give you kind of like the quick little summary about it.
But you have like a few different businesses. I mean, you basically have a consulting business, you do education.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about what you do and how they can contact you to kind of take advantage of your wealth of knowledge?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what I learned in business pretty quickly is if you can be the rainmaker, meaning you can help any business on the planet get more business, then you'll always have a skill set where you can earn money because people are going to always need you. And so through that, I had a digital ads agency, and so that's when I started working with the franchises. And they would hire me to help them find customers, and they pay me every single month. So I was like, this is pretty cool. And what I liked about the digital side is once you create an advertising campaign on it, you can pretty much let it run for the month and keep a check coming in. So I was like, this whole thing of like money constantly coming in, recurring revenue, like this is a game changer. But because they don't teach you this in school, like how to use Facebook and YouTube, matter of fact, they don't even allow you to go on those sites, people kept asking me, well, Billie Jean, how do I do this for my business? Like, this is cool that you're doing it for me, but can you just show me instead? So because they kept asking, I, by default, became a teacher. Because I was living at my mom's house, both my parents grew up on welfare, so we had humble beginnings. I was living at my mom's house trying to figure out like how to get out of there. So here I am, and people are like, can you show me how to do this? And I'm like, I need money, sure, why not? So they would ask me, and I would just start showing them exactly what I was doing to produce results. So like, as a result of doing that, I started teaching, and more people kept asking, and more people kept getting results. And the next thing you know, I look up, and there's thousands of people that I'm teaching. And then through that, I realized I gotta hire more people, and it kind of just expanded from there. So pretty much it just came from a necessity. I had a skill set. I was able to do something others couldn't.
But I think what you do is incredibly creative because I've watched the ad campaigns.
Yeah.
And, you know, you got to bring something new, something exciting, something interesting. People want, there's so much content out there.
Yeah.
You know, in 1927, when Albert Einstein won the Nobel Prize for the theory of relativity in physics and whatnot, and he was being lauded for his brilliance, he stood up, he said, "It's not my brilliance, it's my creativity." And I think your creativity in what you bring to these campaigns is really what stands apart.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that's probably my favorite quote is there's never a lack of resources, there's only a lack of creativity. And so when I was coming up, I had these limiting beliefs on myself of that I'm 23 at the time, no one's ever going to take me seriously, no one's ever going to give me a check to run their social media, it's just never going to happen. I thought I was like this young black kid who dropped out of college, I didn't finish my last class, how can I ever do it? So when I came to the table, I knew for someone to actually trust me, I had to over-deliver on what the next guy was
Show
doing.
results.
Exactly. So
Right.
instead of just like coming up with a proposal to get some of these large franchises to work with me, what I would do is give them results in advance, and I'd say this, hey, I'll work with you for free. Give me the opportunity, give me 48 hours to help you find more business, and if I don't do it, then just, you got nothing to lose.
Right.
And so, of course, every business owner was like, well, yeah, you can do that, sure, why not? So I did, they saw what I can do in such a short amount of time, and next thing you know, I was winning contracts. And people were like, yes, I want to work with you, because I led with proof instead of hype. And that's what I always say, like, demonstrate, don't tell. Stop telling people how great you are. Everybody does that. Demonstrate.
So, you know, let's say, you know, I'm a young student sitting out there and I'm like, okay, Billie Jean, this is awesome. This is exactly what I want to do.
Okay.
How do I start?
So, I mean, can I give a free plug here?
Yeah.
So what I'll tell you guys.
That's what this is for. Free plugs.
What I'll tell you guys is the easiest way to get started is go to copyourads.com. So what I put together is a flash drive that you can just stick into your computer, and I put some of my best performing Facebook advertising campaigns on there, and about 4 additional trainings where literally I'm teaching you how to go from kind of like nothing to understanding like how we're getting the results we are for companies. It's completely free. I'll mail it to you.
They can actually work with you for as low as what, $100 a month, right?
$100 a month. Yeah, I have a monthly membership site where I'm teaching a new skill set, something they're never going to teach you in school, a month. And so that's really the purpose of it. And so the flash drive is free. Literally,
Right.
I think you just pay the shipping like $5 or something like that. But start there. Right now, if you're sitting there and you're like, well, I don't have any money to invest,
Right.
like, forget it. Just use the flash drive and tell me you don't learn more about marketing and business than you ever have in your entire life.
So for the $100 a month, tell me what I'm going to get.
Absolutely. So every month or every week, I'm on a call and I do webinars. So essentially, as long as you have a laptop and a cell phone, you can
Right.
participate. And then I teach you something. So for example, last month I taught storytelling, right? And I talked about how if you have a business, you just said it, you have to be creative. You have to put yourself out there. So how to position what you do in a way where people actually care and that they're entertained. And in addition to that, every month I bring on a special guest, somebody who's really successful in their niche.
So every week you'll have a webinar at what, the same time?
Same time, 9 o'clock on Tuesdays.
9 o'clock on Tuesday. Okay, so if I want to do it, because we also have a lot of parents that are watching this, you know, and they may be interested. So if I want to do this every Tuesday at 9 o'clock, I just log on, and it's what, like a 1-hour webinar?
It's a 1-hour webinar. I'm on there. I'm answering questions live, Q&A. And this is the fun thing. Every single thing that I teach is because I've done it or one of our students has done it.
Okay,
It's
I'm
getting
doing it.
results.
Next week, Dr. Bill I'll be in your audience, and you're going to get questions from me.
Absolutely, man.
To prove that I'm there. Okay, so, and then in addition to that, once a month, you're going to have what, a special guest speaker or what?
So I have a guest speaker, whoever I think, like literally for the storytelling skill, when I taught it that month, we brought on a woman who literally wrote the book, Storytelling for Dummies. And so like we try and find like the biggest people who are actually practitioners of what they do, and we bring them on. And so again, it's all about learning skill. It's good. It's all about learning things that they won't teach you in school. That's the truth. Because what I realized is everything that like helps me earn income, it wasn't taught in college. I went to University of San Diego.
Well, I mean, number one, I definitely am going to sign on, and I want to be. I'll be $100.
I'm going to hold you to that.
No, I'm doing it,
and I'll happily take
And I'll tell you what,
too.
and I'm a good storyteller because I wrote a New York Times bestseller. I'm the only dentist in the world who has a New York Times bestseller.
I love it.
So I could tell stories. So
I want a copy of that, and now you're going to have to come on as a
I will
guest.
sign it, and you'll get it, and I'll do that.
Okay, fair enough.
So you also have, you have that business, which is basically for students.
Yeah.
Then you also are a consultant, and you have an annual fee that people pay $5,000 a year for. Tell me what you get for that.
So I'm the guy who marketers go to when they need to figure out how to market for themselves. And so I have another program called CAMP. It's Customer Acquisition Masters Program. And basically I'm on a call again, once a week every Tuesday, but the entire time I review real life advertising campaigns. And so for example, if there's a dentist and they need more customers, they'll come to me and they'll say, hey Billie Jean, this is what we're doing on Facebook, this is what we're doing on YouTube, Instagram, etc. It's not working. How can we fix it? And then I'll actually give them tactics to change it right there on the spot. And then they also have my team. So this is the crazy thing, is right now, because there's nowhere to learn this stuff, you literally cannot go to a traditional college to learn it. People are afraid because to be successful with paid advertising, you have to spend money. And if you're losing money, you don't want to do it anymore, you just quit. So instead of doing that, just call my team. This is all we do. You can't just pick up the phone and call someone and say, hey, my Facebook advertising is not working anymore.
Let me tell you something. 30 years ago, I was fresh out of dental school. I just finished my internship. I did a residency program. I moved to this building.
Yeah.
My dental practice is right upstairs.
Yeah.
There were 35 dentists in this building, right? The last thing they needed was another dentist. But I was very fortunate because I had a great mentor. And that's one of the things we teach at LEAP is find great mentors and work with those mentors. I had an amazing man. We lost him a few years ago, but Jeff Golub-Evans was the past president of the American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry and all these other things.
Yeah.
But the one thing that he was really, really great at was marketing.
Mm.
And he convinced me to A, get a publicist. I didn't know about getting a publicist.
Yeah.
And B, start advertising. And I started advertising in magazines. Now today that doesn't really work that well.
Mm-hmm.
What you're doing does. But I will tell you that within a year, I had the busiest practice in all of Century City because successful people are willing to do the things that unsuccessful people are not willing to do.
Yep.
And so if you want to be successful, what I did back then doesn't work today. What you're doing does work, and that's what you
But
need
you know
to
what's
learn
fun
to
about
do.
that is the same thing that you're doing in those magazines that work. That's what I always tell people. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're just trying to show you how to take those principles and tactics that made you successful and put them into 2017. Right? No, you wouldn't use a magazine.
Right.
Yeah, put them on Facebook, YouTube.
You just
and
have
there
to use the right medium,
Exactly.
you know? I mean, back then, I advertised in LA Magazine and LA Weekly and all. People don't even look at those anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what I love you said too that really speaks to me is the value of a mentor. I think when everyone's trying to start up a company or they want to go into a business, for some reason we have this arrogance that we can just figure it out ourselves. And for me, that was a long time. That's how I tried to start my business, and I lost money. I was living back at my mom's house. I was embarrassed. I had all my friends. They were making 6 figures, working jobs in finance and all this stuff. And I literally, when I would go out and I would meet people or go on dates, I would be so ashamed because I didn't want to tell people where I lived because my roommates were my parents. And it's because I was trying to figure out stuff, by myself.
Billie
and the
Jean,
second I started investing, everything changed.
I get it. Listen, I grew up really, really, really poor.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have anything. You know what I did when I started my practice? And this wasn't because anybody told me. I just thought this makes sense. I found the 5 most successful dentists in LA.
Yes.
I called them up and I said, look, I know nothing. I just graduated. I want to come and shadow you. And I sat in all 5 of those offices for at least a week to 2 weeks, and I just took notes of all the things that worked and the things that didn't work.
Yep.
And then when I built my practice, I basically had a culmination of all the best stuff I saw from the 5 best dentists in LA.
Yep.
It's called Copy Genius. And it's so easy, but I don't understand why people don't do it
Can
anymore.
I tell you a story?
Yes,
So-
I love stories.
When I first started my company, and I wanted to teach, right? So I was teaching for a while, but it was kind of like bootleg. But I actually wanted to like do it like the same way the online schools do it. Well, I'll never forget this because it was a $30,000 mistake, and it wasn't my money. So I borrowed money from a friend that he just got because his mom like sold her house, and he just had cash. And I sold him, I was like, dude, I have this huge business idea. We're gonna create an online school, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so he gave me the money, and it was $30,000. And then I called up this web company, and they said, yes, Billy, I can create this online learning platform for you, but guess what? It's gonna cost you right around $30,000. So me having zero experience in the tech side of things, what did I do? I gave them all the money because it's like, this is what I need. A year later goes by. Now I'm in the industry for a while, and I meet somebody, and he says, hey man, I saw your learning platform that you're using. It's pretty cool, but I can put you on this other one which does the same things. And I said, yeah, but how much do you charge? He said $1,000. I was like, hold on a second, there's gotta be something different than mine. And it wasn't. His was way better, but I just didn't know. So I overpaid for something by almost $30,000 from trying to figure it out by myself. With realistically, if I just made contact with why you have to have a mentor or coach or someone who's done it before.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean,
I cried, by the way. I did cry. I was upset. I was mad.
One of the things I love about our LEAP program is that it culminates on Friday with something we call a mentor workshop, and I would love to have you be there.
Absolutely.
Where we basically have 100 professionals there from all walks of life: doctors, lawyers, screenwriters, firefighters, I mean, you name it.
Yeah.
And the students get a chance to sit at a table and just fire away questions. You know, what do you like about your career? What don't you like about your career? What were your biggest challenges? You know, what's next? And things like that. So
I think
yeah.
that's so awesome that you guys provide that opportunity, because I think a lot of times when we're in like high school or college, we think we know what we want to do. And then the second you actually start doing that stuff, you realize, I hate this. So if you could actually just speak to somebody who's been there and does it and can
Right.
tell you the pros and cons, maybe they can save you 4 years and $200,000 of debt.
Right. Well, on that note, I will say this for parents that are watching this. You know, I have 3 daughters in college right now, and for people that are spending money to send your kids to school, you know, you're spending between $100,000 and $200,000 to, you know, have your
Not
kids
including
get
the interest after.
yeah, to have your kids get a great college education, and more than 90% of your students are going to move home at the end of that. So
crazy.
spend the time to make sure that your kids are getting the skills that they need to be successful in life. And we do that at LEAP. That's what we do the whole time. For Billy Jean, if you want to contact him, the best way is
Go to copyourads.com, COPYOURADS, copyourads.com, and let me mail you some stuff for free, some free training, and see if it doesn't greatly impact your life.
and I am going to be on your call Tuesday morning.
That's
and
right.
I'll try and do as many Tuesdays as I can because it sounds amazing.
Love it.
And I love your help and your support.
Thank you for having me.
And Cece, thank you for being here also. And
I'm super impressed with what you guys have created. Like, I can't stress enough, you guys. Like, I would have to have something like this. Like, you know, so let me leave them with this, if you don't mind.
I would love it.
2 parents, both grew up on welfare. My mom was one of 13. They were in this tiny, tiny house. Mentors and people who were successful were few and far between. To have an opportunity like this, where you can actually go out and meet people who are already living the life that you want to have, is invaluable. And a lot of kids aren't afforded that opportunity. So if you do have the opportunity and the resources to send someone here, like, you would be crazy not to do it. I genuinely mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Well, thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, LEAP is going to be again this summer, July 23rd to the 29th at UCLA. You can go on our website at www.leapfoundation.com.
Leap.
And get more information. It's right here, leapfoundation.com. Next week, we are going to have
A very special entrepreneur.
a special entrepreneur.
Hey.
We're not going to announce it yet. And then on February 1st, we're going to have my best friend and business partner, Robert Heyman. Robert and I created a company called Discus Dental
Okay.
from nothing. And we developed Zoom, Night White, Day White, Bright Smile, et cetera, and grew that company from zero to over $1.3 billion in sales. And Robert will be sitting here with me.
I can't even sit here. I gotta leave. I gotta leave this early. What?
Kind of telling you the history of Discus Dental. So we're excited for that. With that, Dr. Bill, over and out.
Later, guys.